Welcome back, everybody. I don't have a ton of time, so I'm gonna make it quick. I'm trying to grow this facial hair, sort of, because it's November. I don't really like it, but it's what it is. I was in Edmonton for the last card. Derek Lewis got canceled. That sucked, but I mean, the card wasn't like fantastic, is what people were saying. I thought it was pretty sick. I had a good time while I was there, and I hit this really crazy parlay. I'll put it up here. So that was fucking sick. I made like a rack on the night, so that was dope. Anyways, this weekend we got Magny versus Carlos Prates. So I'm excited for this card, and let's get into it. I'm gonna just kind of skim through mainly, but I'll touch on the fights that I want to touch on. Based on the odds, I'm gonna take the underdog Claudia Sigula. They both seem to have fought good competition, and I don't know. I don't have a confident pick, but I'm going to run with the underdog on this one. Antonio Tricoli versus Trejan Gore. I'm going to go Trejan Gore. Tricoli got mauled by Shara Bullet in his last one, which is fair because Shara is very good, but he didn't do very well in that at all, I don't think. And I think Trejan Gore might get the knockout or whatever, but I think he's going to take it. Okay, here's one I do want to touch on. I'm a big fan of Damon Blackshear, but he lost 18 seconds into his last one against Montel Jackson. I thought Blackshear had that, and maybe he would in a rematch if he didn't just get caught, unfortunately, right away. That shit was annoying, pissed me off. But Blackshear definitely beat Mario Bautista and got completely scammed out of the win. I'll die on that grave or whatever you want to call it. He won that fight. His grappling's nasty. He has one of the only twisters submissions in the UFC, and he's good, and I think he's going to take this one pretty easily. But for a prop pick, again, I'll do these at the end, but I'm going to take him by submission. Him by knockout's like plus 1100, which could totally happen. But him by submission, I think that's his preferred method of victory, and it's like plus 500. I don't think this could go to a decision, but it's worth a sprinkle. But I think he's just better all around than Cody Stamann. So this is a pretty free pick, hopefully. Next one I want to touch on, Matthew Semmelsberger versus Charles Radke. I'm recovering from a cold, by the way, if you can't tell, but that's why I'm sounding like this. Radke got slept in his last one against Carlos Prates. So, and at that point, I didn't realize Prates was the guy he was, or he is. He's got the touch of death. It's pretty crazy, and he just knows where the liver is and can snipe it. That's what he did to Radke. Semmelsberger, the main one I remember him in is a big grappling match with Parsons, like a fight, but it was a lot of grappling. He's on a bit of a losing streak, so maybe he'll turn it around here, but I'm going to take Radke in this one because besides the fight with Carlos Prates, he beat the shit out of Gilbert Urbina, knocked him out in the first round, and I think he probably learned from that last loss, and I think he's going to come out and maybe win by knockout. Again, it's a good prop pick on this one, in my opinion, but we'll see what happens. But I'm going to take his money line and maybe a sprinkle on knockout. This was supposed to be Zaleski dos Santos versus Nicholas Dalby, but Dalby had an injury. Now they brought in Zach Scroggin, and I don't understand because the odds here, they might not have changed, I guess, because maybe these are the odds for Dalby. It's probably what it is, but Scroggin, I looked him up and he's on like a 15 fight win streak. He's undefeated, and the odds for him are like plus like 350 or 400. I think Zaleski dos Santos is very good, but it's worth a sprinkle on an undefeated guy riding like a 15 fight win streak. So but I mean, again, I haven't seen Scroggin fight. Based on the odds, it seems like dos Santos should win pretty easily, but we'll see what happens. Don't really have a pick on that one. Bolanos versus Romius. I think Romius just came off of the Contender Series, if I'm not wrong. He's quick, he's strong. I'm going to take him in this one. He's really short, though, damn. Yeah, 157 at 5'4". He's a big dude. But yeah, I think he's got this one in the bag. good takedown defense, and might go Romeus by knockout. I'm not sure though. Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I don't know how to say that. Denise Gomez. I'm taking Denise Gomez. The odds are pretty crazy because looking at their records, Karolina's fought and beat some very good people. Same with Gomez. I'm going to take Gomez though. I think she's maybe more well-rounded and can get it done. A little tougher. But I don't know if there's any value on her based on the odds. Now for the main card, I honestly don't know these two very well at all. But I believe this guy's on a 6-fight win streak, which makes sense why he's minus 400. This guy's lost a couple, but he's fought more people and higher level people, so there's probably some value on this guy, but I'm gonna rock with Abdul Malik here. Another one I want to touch on, I think Jillian Robertson is a savage. She's like that good. Her record doesn't seem fantastic, to be honest, but she's really good, and I'm gonna take her by submission. She might get a TKO because she just gets mount or gets on their back and just gets to work. And the Luana's last fight, she got submitted, and I think if anyone can do that, it's Jillian Robertson, so I'm going to take her by sub. Maybe a knockout as well, though. The odds for her to win are pretty steep. What I typically do, though, when I'm betting is I'll find like someone that I do think is going to win, but their money line is like pretty steep, and then their preferred method of victory is like, let's call it a submission in this case, and that's plus money by like 200 or whatever. I'll sprinkle on that because I think because they're such a favorite, it means they should win that fight pretty easily. And if it's plus money, then fucking take it. Next fight, GM3 versus Reinier de Ritter. I watched a video on de Ritter. He seems pretty damn good. People have said that his striking is not very good, and his preferred method of victory is forcing the fight to the ground and getting a submission there. Meerschaert's been submitted a decent amount of times, but he's submitted a lot of good fighters as well. I'm excited for this one because people are making it out to be de Ritter should walk through GM3, but I think that GM3, if they're grappling a lot, could very well win by submission. It's like plus 650 by submission, plus 230 just by money line. So I probably won't like take anyone's money line. Maybe I'll take Meerschaert's money line just because of the odds. But I'll sprinkle on like subs and whatever else. But I'm excited because Meerschaert's a good like UFC veteran test for these new guys. So we'll see what happens. Turcios versus Sopai. I think it's Sopai. Sopai was doing good in his last one, but gassed out so hard and got fucking knee to the head in the last 20 seconds. Turcios got submitted by Raul Rojas Jr. I don't think the odds should be minus 350 for Sopai. I think he'll probably win, but I think it'll be more competitive than that. But I could see him getting a finish, maybe a TKO, maybe a sub, because I know Turcios likes to grapple as well, and maybe he'll get a sub in those scrambles, but we'll see. But I think TKO is his preferred method, just like throwing down elbows and punches and whatever. So I'm going to take Sopai though in this one. And then main event. Didn't realize we were already here, but we got Neil Magny versus Carlos Prates. I'm going to take Carlos Prates. I don't think Neil Magny is going to survive if it's a 5-rounder, and if it stays on the feet, he's 100% getting knocked out. Just a matter of when. The other thing is that there is value on Magny because he could try to weather the storm and take Prates down. I don't know if Prates has ever fought anyone that can wrestle or whatever yet. I could be wrong by that, but who knows? Magny could get like a TKO or submission or decision by like riding out throughout the whole fight using wrestling and grappling. But if they're striking, he's getting knocked out, because I truly believe that Prates is like the welterweight Alex Pereira, where he touches you and you go to sleep. The Trevin Giles fight is a perfect. Oh yeah, I kept saying Gillies last time when in the last video I was talking about it. It's Trevin Giles, but Trevin Giles was out striking Prates, and then Prates just touches him with his left hand and he goes to sleep. So it's pretty ridiculous. And then what we saw him do to Radke and everyone else, even before UFC highlights, are pretty ridiculous. So I'm gonna take Prates by knockout, and that's like minus 300, which is pretty crazy, but I think it's gonna happen. So those are my picks for betting. Sprinkling on, I mean, I'll probably throw Prates by knockout in something, Sopai by a finish maybe. I'm gonna just sprinkle on Mearshart by submission, but I don't know how that fight's gonna go. Jillian Robertson by a finish, or by submission, or by knockout separately, because it's like plus 500 or something. But I think she's gonna finish Luana. And then Radke by knockout I think is super live, and Blackshear by submission or knockout I also think is super doable. So I think that's all I got for this weekend. And then we got Jones versus Miocic, which is a pretty good card next weekend, so I'll see you there.